You know, in thinking about becoming a multi-site ministry, there's some critical questions that you probably want to ask yourself and ask your team before you even move in that direction. One of those critical questions is, what should a church consider before going multi-site? You know, in asking that question, first of all, you've got to start with an understanding of what is multi-site. And do I have an understanding of multi-site? You know, what is multi-site defined? You know, I have a simple definition of multi-site that I use that I think sums it up. And it's basically, you know, how you do as a ministry, what you do, wherever you do it. It's not just about multiple campuses or multiple locations. A site can actually be defined as somewhere where you do ministry. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But in looking at that, there's three basic ways that you can define multi-site. First of all, you can define it through the concept of multi-site, the conceptual side of multi-site. There's a lot of variations out there of what multi-site works best and what multi-site is the most effective. And these concepts really vary in range based upon the church that is trying to implement that multi-site model. But the concepts vary from everything from a video venue, a virtual teaching environment where you're streaming in the message via technology that's out there, or you've got a live teaching component going on where there's a campus pastor who teaches the same message, or there's a rotation of teachers that move throughout the campuses on a given weekend, etc. There's a lot of different concepts out there, as well as the branding and the duplication. How comprehensive do you get with the duplication of the ministry, etc. There's a variation of concepts that are out there, but you have to determine what will work best for you, and I'll give some more pointers on that a little bit later. The second way that you define multi-site is the physical application. You know, what do we utilize to make multi-site happen? How do we duplicate the message? How do we duplicate the experience? How do we duplicate our culture and our brand and everything that we think is what defines us uniquely as a ministry? And that can happen through a variety of ways as well, from, you know, how you duplicate your brand with graphics and signage, etc., through the different locations. And do you really want every location to look and feel the same, or are there slight variations? And what are those? These are the questions that you have to wrestle with and that you have to talk through. And you know, you can have people that do that for you as well. But the conceptual is something to consider, the physical is something to consider, and then there's the virtual side of multi-site. How do you duplicate the communication pieces of your multi-site environment? Does it mean you duplicate the same video content? Do you duplicate the same promotions that you do on and off stage? What is it that you want to communicate to different campuses, or is it a consistent message? Are they enterprise-wide messaging and things like that get very complex, but are essential to discovering how you want to do multi-site the way that you do it. And then of course the teaching side is a live teaching environment, is a virtual teaching environment, is a delayed virtual teaching environment. You know, are you doing messages the week on, or are you doing the week delayed, or is there a time delay? There's so many different questions about the virtual side of multi-site. And then of course there's the virtual environment. You know, when I was the director of multi-sites at the Rock Church, Pastor Miles called me into the green room on a Sunday, and he said, "David, I really want us to do something with multi-site in our virtual space, our online audience." And I said, "Oh, we can do that. We can create social media campaigns and we can engage them through chats and things." He said, "Well, that's all fine and good, but no, I want to engage them with the Rock mission and vision and see activity as a result of that." And at first I was a little bit overwhelmed because I was thinking so much about the concepts of multi-site, the physical side of multi-site, and now we're moved in a whole nother realm. And then I began to understand what he was saying, that in his creative mind, the virtual audience was a site within itself. That online audience was a site within itself. And so it became very exciting. We created some great strategies, and they evolved and changed with time, but the virtual is something to consider as well.